Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to spin the wheel again. Let's see what new hell awaits me today. I'm just gonna jump straight into it. Oh my grass, there's not. I maybe should have removed that rule because of the municipal council work. Because that doesn't apply. That can't apply because of the municipal council. So I'm actually gonna respin, because that's a rule that should have been taken out because of the way the series is gone. Can only upgrade equipment in the springtime. That's what I'll use. Because the other rule, the entire series would kind of fall apart if I were to use it. So apologies to whoever suggested the only mowing grass that I actually own thing. I've kind of changed the way things are working since that rule was suggested. So apologies again. I'll catch you guys in game. We are in game. It is the middle of winter. And we've got a lot of work to do today because it is Animal Day. It's Friday. We gotta buy some animals today. We also have to take into account one of the rules, which is that we've got to clean the yards of snow. Hence why I've got this beautiful little snow plow going here. And I'm gonna call this yard cleaned. I know there's a couple of areas that still have quite a bit of snow, including the main vehicle area. I'm going to kind of abandon this yard for now because it is time for the other rule that's going to take effect today to take effect. I'm actually going to deal with this snow here as well. Seeing as I'm going out of the yard anyway, I actually wanted to push this snow across the road. Let's just clear a path out. And some of this is going to magically disappear into the road because road divots, hooray. There we go. And there we go. So that's the main yard cleared. Or as cleared as it is gonna get, for now at least. We need to go over to the pig yard though. It seems like Dara's been very lazy with the I don't know if the municipal council even has a plough of some description. I may end up needing to do this. Or Dara's probably hoping the snow melts. Because again, that's his responsibility now, and he's really just ignoring that. Now the problem with and I'm gonna just do this a few times. Oh, okay, let's do this again because I just realized I had. There we go. The problem with snow and winter in general is I do need to be a bit more careful going around corners, and I'm gonna keep forgetting that because something very important that maybe you do know, maybe you don't, is that seasons changes up grip. So I'm going to intentionally crash here to demonstrate this, because I'm going to come down as if it's just a normal day and turn, and yeah, I'm in a tree because the grip levels on the snow, especially on the snow, are basically random. You can go from all of the grip in the world to suddenly no grip at all in point nothing of a second. I'm going to demonstrate it again at the end of the road if I can free myself. So I'm not going to charge myself for that crash, just because I don't. If I'm trying to demonstrate something, I always feel like the rules shouldn't apply. So I'm going to do it again at the end of the road here, because this will probably be a better example. It's coming down as normal. normal circumstances, I'd turn... Oops. Okay, that one was my own fault, so I will charge myself for that. Let's get back up the hill so I can show this off properly. Also, there we go. This is going to be a very costly episode. So we should be good even from here. So coming down the hill, albeit slightly slower than I would have liked. Turn here, and yeah. No grip whatsoever. See, so I am going to have to be a bit more careful and hit the oh my god, hit the brakes a bit more often. Another cool thing is the snow does have sounds for when you're on it. When you're walking around on it, so the lovely snow sounds. Just gonna grab the eggs out of the chickens here. There is a reason we're down here other than just for funsies, by the way. Because it is Friday, which means we need to buy more animals. I'm gonna zip in here real quick and do that. Comedy is we're gonna be actually I'm gonna turn this down to 1 times acceleration. Because I'm gonna need to actually turn on the money cheat again. We're down to 1 times acceleration just because there's a lot going on at once here. We're gonna have to clean these yards up, and yeah, then sort the animals, and there's a lot to do all at once. Bit of a shame we can't make snowballs. With seasons, that'd be something that'd be just plain fun. But I do need to clear this yard of snow. I'm gonna ignore the roads for now. I might figure out a way of clearing them, but the yards are my concern. Well, we may run over some chickens during the course of this. It's kind of unavoidable because the chickens don't realize that I'm here. Anybody want some chicken soup? Ah! Can this not fit through the... Can't fit through the gap. We're gonna have to, unfortunately, leave that area unplowed. Just because the snowplow literally can't fit through. Well, I could use the bucket, and I probably will. Because it is a relatively small area. Let's push the snow onto the, more of the field area there. Just to clear this up. That, by the way, is why I've got the front loader still attached to the tractor, is just because I will be kind of by necessity swapping between the bucket and the plow attachment. I am going to call this a plow. I know it's not, but that's what I'm going to call it. There's a pretty good place to just start piling the snow up. So this is what happens when you guys suggest rules that I have to do something. Is you get a video where I'm doing the thing that the rules tell me to do, regardless of how much sense it makes. I did see a rule suggestion on yesterday's video that I might include that is just a hard reset for the series, that the rules are all now invalid. Should be Kind of interesting to see how quickly I could ruin everything. The bright side of the snow, which did... Do you remember when I said there'd be no snow because the forecast was only for rain? Turns out that if it gets cold enough, the rain turns to snow. I wasn't aware of that. And I suffered. But we do need to get at least most of the snow up. I know not all of it's gonna come up because of the way terrain works. And the fact that I'm using quite a large scraper for this. You know, not all the snow is going to come up all the time, so just get as much as we can up and clear out the few places where it's not going to come up well with the bucket. There we go. I don't mind creating huge giant ass piles of snow every so often, especially when it's outside the yard. Because let's face it, in real life you'd probably want to do something similar, is just get the snow out somewhere where it doesn't make too much of an impact and just leaving a giant pile there. Is that snow going to affect the yard? No. There is some snow in with the pigs that I'm just going to ignore as well, by the way, because the pigs will play with it and probably eat it. It may well be yellow by the time they eat it, but they'll eat it. It may melt before they actually notice that there's something different. And unfortunately, the corn is getting mixed up with the snow here. It's causing a bit of problem for the snowplow. But I think this is all we can really do with the plow. I think our next course of action is to detach the plow and just use the bucket to clean up the rest. Which is probably going to result in quite a few buckets full of snow. This isn't the biggest bucket in the world. It's, you know, it's enough to deal with the pigs and enough to deal with the animals, but it's small because I don't need a big one. You know, there's no point in having this huge bucket that can carry 50,000 litres if I only ever really use 1,500 litres of that. Go. This is what you guys get for suggesting the rule that I had to clean up the snow in the winter. Unfortunately, I don't have anything that can deal with grit as far as I'm aware. Might be wrong. I'm probably wrong, in fact. I wouldn't be too surprised if the fertilizer spreader I have can actually deal with it. But let's get the corn here and we can actually hopefully deal with the mess the pigs have created. As long as it doesn't magically turn into snow. I gotta be really careful because that is a very real risk. How are the animals all doing? Pigs are basically fine. Cows and sheep need some hay. The cows need some grass, which I can't give them. The sheep, it's at the point where they are going to need some hay. I'm going to need to get a bale done up for them. Can I give them TMR? Hay pellets, grass, or hay? Might be able to give the sheep mixed rations. It'd be really nice if I could. even though it would be kind of a bit of a waste of silage, it would be super, super convenient. So that's all corn the pigs will take. Vanguard will be pleased to see that the big bag of food that he was complaining about is now gone. I was complaining that the pigs never took any corn, and that was of course because I had the big bag located right on top of the fill trigger for the pigs, or the feeding trigger, so they were taking, the food was being automatically given to them. Which I didn't realize was going to be a thing until it was pointed out to me that yeah, that is definitely a thing, and that's exactly what's happening, Dave. So that was a bit of unintentional cheating. Even though, actually, was it even cheating? There's no rule saying that I couldn't give the pigs miracle food that emptied itself into the trigger. So, cheating is maybe unfair play is maybe the best way to put it. I am going to block up the gates out of the yard here. I don't know if it's the smartest idea, but it's the best way to, best place from here to put the snow. Because I don't want to have snow just piled everywhere in kind of field areas that I want to use come the springtime, because I will need to plow up the ground. I don't want to have to try and move snow before I can do that. Is that bit of snow gonna budge at all? Kind of, maybe, no. Okay, that bit of snow can just stay there. In fact, right here's a really good place to put some snow. There we go. And now for the big area that I've kind of had to miss, which is this entire yard, because it's just too small for me to be able to to logically fit the snowplow through. And the same with this area here, which unfortunately has some quite large piles of snow in the middle of it. So this is going to be the one, well, there are two field areas where I'm piling snow. This is going to be the one that gets the hardest hit. Luckily, I should point this out, very luckily, it doesn't matter if the oilseed radish dies. Because it's not it's not a crop that I'm intending on harvesting ever. It's literally just there to fertilize the field, and if it dies, so be it. It'll still fertilize the field. Is there anywhere else I can put the snow? No, it's going to have to go to the field. This is really inconvenient. Also, I'm not entirely sure how high I can pile this snow. It's times like this I wish that I had a wheel loader, just to make life a bit easier, but this would be one of those few times where it would. Even with silage, I kind of think that using a tractor with a bucket or something is a bit easier than using a wheel loader. It's a bit more manageable. It's far from perfect, but it's a bit more manageable. We are forming some paths though, which is good. Yeah, we do have some paths through the snowbanks that have formed. And we're just forming a giant drift on the edge of the field that's going to take This is going to take forever to melt down. Oh boy. In reality, that would probably take a couple of months to melt down fully. Being, at this point, probably 7 or 8 feet deep. And the bottom of it being super heavily packed snow now. Because I'm driving over it with a tractor. That's about as good as I can get there. Anywhere else that I will need to do in this yard? Or are we good for snow clean. I want to clear out the front of that shed and actually close the shed itself. So let's do that real quick. I think then we're good for snow clearance on this yard. Or as good as I'm willing to get. Which may be a better way of putting it. Not like Gillette, I'm not you know, it's not the best a man can get. No, it's just, it's as good as I'm willing to do. It's the best I'll do. It'll do. It shall suffice. RainbowDave Gaming, it shall suffice. This would be a really cool thumbnail. Can I get on top of this pile? Let me up. Yes. Thumbnail. There we go. Right, next jobbo. Next jobberino-ington is... I don't know what the next job is. I mean, I was struggling to come up with something to do today until it snowed. And suddenly I had stuff to do because snow. I think the next best thing I can do... So we've only got about 5 minutes-ish left. The next really useful thing I can do is actually clean up the mess I just made just there. The next really useful thing I can do, I think, is going to be cleaning out the cow shed and dealing with the cows, which I think needs to be done still. It's another minus 100. Also, for those of you keeping close note, I have finally re-registered the... it's another minus 100 because I did hit the wall there. I did re-register the tractor. I've got a new number plate on it today. 08 Cork 13753. As found on Google. Mr. Simulate is not pleased because the rear registration number on the real version of this tractor is actually on an import plate, which is the square one over the right fender. So he's not pleased because I'm not 100% realistic with the number plate location. Also, yes, I'm taking a shortcut through the fields here. Which isn't a shortcut through a hedge, so it's not against the rules. Neener, 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 there's exceptions all the time. But yeah, the next job we're going to do is we're gonna sort the cows and potentially do a bit more snow work over at the main yard if there's areas that I feel are particularly bad, but I might do that off camera. Except I won't do it off camera because it's 10:15. I need to get this video edited and rendered, as well as the other video for today edited and rendered. And then it's Forza time. So I'm kind of rushing myself a small bit. Just because I want to play some Forza. Those of you that don't know, Forza Horizon 4 is releasing for me in about 2 hours time, just under. So I'm kind of rushing and pushing myself to get everything done so I can play some Forza and chillaxerino. I don't know where to put the snowplow. You know, I don't use this gate ever, so I'm gonna just drop it there. I do need to clean that area at some point. I might just let the snow melt. Because I did notice that there was a significant number of people just abandoning the stream yesterday when I was doing the snow work, so not expecting today's video to get particularly brilliant views. Not expecting this video to get brilliant views, but as always, if you got a rule suggestion, you can throw it into the comments. And it'll potentially be added to the wheel. I can't make any promises. Some rules on the wheel currently should have been removed, like the no mowing grass that I didn't own one, because I'd negated the need for that rule already. And I will do that. Sometimes I'll just like think up rules that you guys might suggest and come up with a reason why it would make no sense. And then just work it into the series because I can. There we go. This can go on to the big pile of manure that's keeping a surprisingly large area of the yard warm. No cheating has occurred here. Hopefully we'll be able to do, I hope field 17 in manure come the springtime. I'd like to get solid, I'd like to get manure down on one field at least. For that, you know, a bit of an organic boost to the farm. For them grants here. Now, because I like using manure in farm sim. I think it's an underrated underrated aspect of the game. But that is about all we have time for, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I will be back tomorrow, or well, later today with the stream. I don't know if it'll be farm sim. It might be Forza. Depends on how I feel. But until then, stay safe and goodbye.